Back come the Wings, though. Here's Barr over the line, fires, and a save by Belfour. And he hangs on as Doug Wilson was all the way on the near side of the ice. The entire far half was open, and Barr.
It's a new challenge, and it's a big-time adrenaline rush, and I love adrenaline rushes. So, you know, I love getting in the car and get the blood pumping there, and it is a big challenge to get down the track nice and straight and safely.
Leaks the shot, rebound! And who led it? Brian Leach again. He went wide on Keith Carney. Oh, there was the great save.
Wide. Now it's centering pass. Belfour! She's in a breakaway. Brad Hall, the shot, and a save by Belfour!
Eddie Belfour was one of those unique type of players that came out of nowhere.
Eddie had an edge to him, undrafted and goes to the Hall of Fame, and he wore that proudly.
You know, that's just the kind of guy who was ultra competitive, but that's what made him so good.
So when he got his first opportunity in 1991 to be the man, he just was on a mission.
Ed Belfour finished the 1990-91 season with 43 wins, an NHL rookie record. He also led the league in saves, save percentage, and goals against average. Belfour brought home some hardware in his first full year as a pro, winning the Calder, Jennings, and Vezina trophies.
I think the Blackhawks, when they signed Eddie Belfour, didn't realize all that they were getting. He was one of those guys that came in and was one of the best goaltenders in the International Hockey League.
The other thing he was really good at was, and this was before Marty Brodeur, he acted like a third defenseman back there. He could handle the puck really, really well. And, you know, back in the day, you could interfere with guys a lot better. So they dumped it in, you could hold him up, ride him off to the corner, give Eddie a couple of seconds, and he'd make a great outlet pass.
If you ever question his style, which was very unorthodox, they would say, well, I'm not a show pony. I'm not out there to look pretty in goal. I just stop the puck. That was Eddie.
In sports more than anything else, it's okay to have a temper, especially in a contact sport like hockey.
I think the competitive nature of Eddie Belfour came out the way that he played. He was very fiery. He brought a lot of intensity and emotion to the game. Hated to lose.
You know, I can remember even in practice, you know, if you happen to shoot high on him, every once in a while a shot gets away from you and it might hit him in the mask or hit him up in the shoulder. He'd turn around and fire a puck back at you when you weren't looking because he's so ultra competitive.
Belfour helped the Blackhawks win the President's Trophy with 106 points before they were bounced in the first round by the Minnesota North Stars.
It's certainly, I think it made us play a little more aggressively in the offensive zone and with a little more confidence when we knew he was in net.
Belfour spent 8 years in Chicago, winning the Jennings 3 times and the Vezina twice. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2011 and ranks 3rd all-time with 484 wins, trailing only Martin Brodeur and Patrick Roy.
He had a mindset that said, I'm going to play in the NHL and I'm going to be great. And that's the way that he came into the NHL, and that's the way he left.
Flying offensively as they are averaging 4 goals a game. Shot off, and Eddie Belfour is out of this court and all took it from the near side wood.
After a solid junior career and an NCAA championship, Eddie Belfour didn't hear his name called at the 1987 NHL entry draft. Eddie was lucky enough to sign with the Chicago Blackhawks in September of 1987. It wasn't until the start of the 1990-91 season that Eddie finally got his chance to shine in Chicago. I don't know this for sure, but I'm fairly confident that the term late bloomer was created because of Eddie Belfour. Eddie put together arguably one of the greatest rookie seasons in NHL history. He appeared in 74 games, 74, and he won 43 of them. He had 4 shutouts and a 2.47 goals against average, lowest in the NHL, giving him the William Jennings Trophy. He was a shoo-in for the Calder Trophy as the league's top rookie, and he also took home the Vezina Trophy as the league's top goaltender. Maybe even more impressive was that Eddie got nominated for the Hart Trophy as the league's MVP. Eddie the Eagle had arrived. The following season, Eddie led us all the way to the Stanley Cup Final, but Mario Lemieux and the Penguins were just too much. Eddie Belfour was one of the most intense players that I've ever played with, without question. He was one of those guys that he had to have everything perfect on game days. His skates had to be perfect. He would be the one that would sharpen his skates. He wouldn't let anybody touch him. He'd be there till 1:32 in the morning, sharpening his skates, making sure that they were perfect. I don't know how he played because he never got any sleep. The following season, Eddie took home another Vezina Trophy. Eddie was in Chicago until the 1996-97 season, when he was dealt to the San Jose Sharks. At the same time, Eddie decided to make a change, switching his jersey from number 30 to number 20 for the rest of his career as a tribute to his mentor, the legendary Vladislav Tretiak. After a tough go with the Sharks, Eddie signed as a free agent with the Dallas Stars. The 1998-99 season saw Eddie win his 4th Jennings Trophy, and the Stars win their 2nd straight President's Trophy. Eddie was back in the final for the first time since 1991, facing the Buffalo Sabres. Now, we all know that the Stars won the Cup on a questionable goal. What doesn't get talked about enough is a classic battle throughout the series between Eddie and our former teammate, Dominic Hasek. Game 6 went to triple overtime, and Eddie ended up with 53 saves to Hasek's 50. Check this stat out. For the entire finals, Hasek goals against average was 1.68. Eddie's 1.26. Wow. By the time Eddie got to Toronto in 2002, a lot of people thought his best days were long gone. All Eddie did that season was win a franchise record 37 games and finish runner-up to Martin Brodeur for the Vezina Trophy. Eddie ended up playing 963 regular season games and sits 3rd on the all-time wins list with 484. Not bad for a guy who nobody wanted.
Battle of the goalies in the semifinals. Patrick versus Eddie the Eagle. The Eagle, and they went save for save in the first game, and it goes into overtime. Game, and for the 3rd time in 4 games, it went into OT. Dallas won, but boy, it took an awful lot out of them. I think this series killed them for the playoff.
It's so very apropos that the Colorado Avalanche are in Dallas for this one. Ed Belfour was instrumental in back-to-back Western Conference final victories over the Lanch back in the day, and he's about to make his way to center ice, as this is a reunion night with the Eagle. And Stars fans love them some Ed Belfour, and they have pretty much from the day that he was acquired by the Stars in the summer of 1997 as a free agent. And then immediately after that, conference final, Stanley Cup victory, Stanley Cup final. The Eddie chant, the Eddie's better chant back in the day.
He's a businessman now.
Yes, Belfour Bourbon.
The distillery I told him, I said, man, if that's not the meaning of putting gas on a fire, I don't know what is, Ed.
He was out of the play, reached back with his stick, and took what looked like a sure goal away from the Boston Bruins. Boys, the guy that had the chance. Watch this stop. Not that one, this one.
Boy, he reached back and slammed that paddle down as Boyd got away from Wellman, then on his knees trying to stick handle it into the goal.
Well, Will tried to hold them up, but you can't hold them up very strong.
Eagle, Ed Belfour. Eddie makes it look easy. One of them. couple of years. It's good to see him win the cup. He did a great job.
There. Ed Belfour, of course, a teammate of Joe Nieuwendyke's when they won the Stanley Cup in 1999 with the Dallas Stars, but he was so much more than that. One of the winningest goaltenders of all time. Terrific numbers like Nieuwendyke from the start of his NHL career.
Goaltender Eddie the Eagle Belfour entered the league with the Blackhawks as an undrafted free agent and became one of the best netminders of his era. In 1990-1991, his first full season in the NHL, he had one of the best rookie seasons ever.
In front to Hall, and a great save by Ed Belfour on Hall.
Posting 43 wins in 74 games. Both numbers are NHL rookie and Blackhawks team records. He finished with a 2.47 goals against average and 4 shutouts. Those stats helped him win the Calder Trophy, the Vezina Trophy, and he was a finalist for the Hart Trophy as league MVP. The following season, he backstopped the Blackhawks to the Stanley Cup for the first time in 29 years. The following year, he won his second Vezina Trophy. Belfour's time in Chicago came to a surprising and stunning end in January 1997 when he was dealt to the San Jose Sharks. A brief stay in San Jose was followed by his crowning achievement in Dallas. Belfour shone for the Stars, and in 1999 he outdueled Martin Brodeur to help lead the Stars to their first ever Stanley Cup victory. In the summer of 2002, Belfour joined the Toronto Maple Leafs for a 3-year stay. It was there that he posted the 400th win of his career. He'd finished his career in Florida, and by the time he retired in 2007, Belfour had amassed 484 wins and 76 shutouts, and had earned himself an induction into the Hockey Hall of Fame.
I have been truly blessed with many awards and championships. I attribute this to my talents and all the great people I've come in contact with that have supported me. Playing for all the winning teams, having great teammates and coaches has been a blessing for me, and I'm very grateful for it all. Thanks to all the fans and the Eddie Eddie chant. It always gave me inspiration and helped me play better. I'll never forget it. Thanks to my wife, Ashley, and my children, Dane and Reagan and Adler, for all your love, support, and patience. Thanks to Mom and Dad, Mom and Dad for giving me an upbringing, a good upbringing, and always telling me I could accomplish whatever I put my mind to do. Thanks, Mom and Dad. I love you.
Isn't that a different side of Ed Belfour from what we all knew as the intense competitor? Not to say that we didn't think it existed, but that's what the Hall of Fame brings out, is the truth and the belief of, you know, how you were able to complete the journey.
No question, and speaking of complete the journey, but let's take it all the way back to the beginning of the journey. The fact that this guy was born in Carmen, Manitoba, and undrafted, played at the University of North Dakota, was a stud there, came to the IHL, was a stud, and then came to the National Hockey League with the Hawks, where we first saw him on the scene with that wide V butterfly stance. He continued to evolve his game as time went along. His time in Dallas, he became more of a hybrid butterfly goalie. Right to the end of his time with Toronto, his game evolved along with that of the National Hockey League. A long-standing career, a master technician, very competitive, a terrific skater, and nothing.
Ed Belfour was born and raised in Carmen, Manitoba, and arrived on the UND campus in the fall of 1986, where he led the Fighting Sioux to the 1987 NCAA National Championship. Following his freshman season at UND, Ed signed as a free agent with the Chicago Blackhawks and began an illustrious NHL career. Regarded by many as one of the elite goaltenders of his time, Ed's 484 career wins rank him third all-time among NHL goalies. During the 1990-91 season, Ed turned in what many consider to be one of the best rookie seasons in NHL history. Ed notched 43 wins, finished the season with 4 shutouts, won the Calder Trophy, the Vezina Trophy, the Jennings Trophy, and was nominated for the Hart Trophy as the league's MVP. Ed went on to win the Vezina Trophy again in 1993, and the Jennings Trophy again in 1993, 1995, and 1999, in addition to being selected to play in 6 NHL All-Star games. As a member of the Dallas Stars during the 1998-99 season, along with Sioux alums Tony Herkus, Craig Ludwig, and assistant coach Rick Wilson, Ed and the Stars won the Stanley Cup when Ed made 53 saves in the Stanley Cup clinching overtime win over the Buffalo Sabres. On the international front, Ed won a gold medal at both the 1991 Canada Cup and the 2002 Salt Lake City Olympics as a member of Team Canada. Ed finished his NHL career with more than 900 games played for Chicago, San Jose, Dallas, Toronto, and Florida before retiring from the game in 2009.
He is simply the greatest goaltender in franchise history and one of the best big game goalies this game has ever seen. The enigmatic Ed Belfour was fiery and intense, a fierce competitor who took preparation to an almost obsessive level. He had a linebacker's temperament and a singular focus on winning. Tonight, we honor the Eagle for his contributions to this franchise and his induction into the Hall of Fame.
Symbol of strength and majesty. It has impeccable eyesight and unrivaled instincts. The Eagle, known for his dedication to his craft and a fiery competitor in the crease. The last line of defense. When you absolutely had to have a save, Ed Belfour took flight. Belfour's resilient net-minding became the backbone for the Dallas Stars' Stanley Cup runs in 1998, 1999, and 2000. And in that magical spring of 1999, Ed Belfour would go head-to-head with three of the greatest goaltenders of all time. Grant Fuhrer, Patrick Waugh, and Dominic Hasek.
Belfour left shot, now tried to jam it, McDonald scores! That's it!
June 19th, 1999, Buffalo, New York. The Eagle and the Dominator. They both stood guard over their nets for over 114 minutes. With everything on the line, Belfour was up to the challenge. And in the wee hours of the following morning, Brett Hull fired the final shot of the epic struggle, and Ed Belfour was finally rewarded with Stanley Cup glory. The Eagle Belfour, a symbol of strength and majesty, a Dallas Star, a Stanley Cup champion, a member of the Hockey Hall of Fame.
The Eagle Belfour.
Very skilled, and they were very impressive last night.
How do you feel now after your first practice?
It was good to get out there and get a good sweat, and get my legs moving, and trying to get the timing back.
Your nickname is Ed the Eagle. How do you get that?
It's from my mask. My first mask had the eagle. I still wear the eagle, and that's where it came from.
Belfour Stone's Eagle. When you'd spray snow in his face, and evidently so does Eddie Belfour. There's only one 50-goal scorer last year, and everybody asks, why aren't there more goals scored? Well, it's not the rules, it's not the trap, it's not the hooking and holding. Everybody can shoot a puck now, so why is the scoring down? I'll tell you why. The goaltenders are better.
sound. The next sound reflects a complex hybrid dialect now. Detect the mesh of many elements compressed down. The melting pot of a super futuresque sound. The combination of a vocal caress with lungs that gasp for breath from emotional stress to special effects. In a distorted collage, carefully lodged between beats of a rhythmic barrage. It's going down, the logical progression on the timeline. The separation narrowed down to a fine line to blur the edges so they blend together properly. Take you on an audible odyssey. Now it's going down, a logical progression on the timeline. The separation narrowed down to a fine line to blur the edges so they blend together properly. Take you on an audible odyssey. Now it's going down. Put it out for the world to see. LP and X-Men to the 10th degree. Nobody in the world is safe when we melt down the wax in your red degree. Put it out for the world to see. LP and X-Men to the 10th degree. Nobody in the world is safe when we melt down the wax in your red degree. Put it on. It goes like this. You do it like this. Once again it is composed sentences, altogether venomous. The four elements of natural force projected daily through the sound of the source. Everybody on board as we blend the sword with the pen. The mightiest the weapon swinging right for the chin. To elevate mental states long gone with the wind. To defend men from shoddy imitation pretends it's going down. Style assimilation, readily trekking through the weaponry of a pure pedigree. Cleverly seeing through whatever is ahead of me. Whatever the weather be, we advance steadily. It's going down subterrestrial hot. A rhyme regiment is calling the shots. Execution of collaborative plots ready to bring the separation of style to a stop. It's going down, a logical progression on the timeline. The separation narrowed down to a fine line to blur the edges so they blend together properly. Take you on an audible odyssey. Now it's going down. Put it out for the world to see. LP and X-Men to the 10th degree. Nobody in the world is safe when we melt down the wax in your red degree. Put it out for the world to see. LP and X-Men to the 10th degree. Nobody in the world is safe when we melt down the wax in your red degree. X-Men about to blast off worldwide. X-Men about to blast off worldwide. You do it like this. About to blast off worldwide. It's going down. Put it out for the world to see. LP and X-Men to the 10th degree. It's going down.
Game 7 was a nightmare for the Senators. Even though they outshot the Leafs again, it wasn't close. 4-1 the Leafs.
Catch me! I'm in a aeroplane. See me flying. And do your thing, June. You're just a real buzzkill, boy. You ain't no dropping. See me rolling. Rocking and rolling. I know you see me flying. Flying. And now you can't catch me.
And gets the job done. Needless to say, folks, Ed Belfour hates the St. Louis Blues. And a save by Kenny Reagan. Watching goalies react to rebounds, starting with Eddie the Eagle. We make fun of Eddie the Eagle, but let's see him soar now. And here's my pick for the end. The Eagle and Ty go at it. And now watch Eddie the Eagle fly. Hey, don't get in Eddie's way or you're gonna get it. Hey, I'll tell you something, he uses that blocker for more than stopping pucks. This is from Winnipeg, Manitoba, one of my favorite cities. It's Kurt, and he says, look, I'm a goaltender. I have friends who are goaltenders, and what they do is they put on that segment, you know, of the goaltenders making saves so they get up for the game. All right, Kurt, we're going to make a nice long one for you. And for all you goaltenders, just before you go to the game, cue it up and get on there and keep kicking them out. Hey, just imagine if these guys didn't have the match. Billy only puts 2 by Eddie in the next 2 games.
Matt Sundin recounted Hall of Famer Ed Belfour's arrival in Toronto as follows. Ed Belfour said to the team at the start of his first season as a Maple Leaf, "If you guys score a few goals, I'll get shutout after shutout." That season we broke the record for the most points in a regular season for a Leafs team. Eddie was a fantastic competitor and teammate, a true superstar in the NHL. Gary Roberts added, "Eddie's a real competitor. We all know what he did for us in Toronto and what he did for his whole career. He's one of the most competitive guys I've ever played with." The Eagle still holds the Leafs record for wins in a single season.
Please welcome Ed Belfour, inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in the Players category.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank the Hockey Hall of Fame and the selection committee for my induction into the Hall. Congratulations to Joe, Mark, and Doug as well. Thank you to my family and friends for being here for this special day. Special thanks to Vladislav Tretiak for everything you've done for me and making the trip from Moscow to be here tonight. Also, thank you to Chris Chelios, who traveled a long way from his scouting trip in Europe, and for everything you taught me when I was a rookie. We had a lot of fun, too, so appreciate that, Chris. I am proud and honored to receive this recognition and will treasure this weekend for the rest of my life. I have been truly blessed with many awards and championships. I attribute this to my God-given talents and all the great people I have come in contact with that have supported me. Playing for all the winning teams, having great teammates and coaches has been a blessing for me, and I'm very grateful for it all. You've all made a positive impact on my life and career, and I will always remember those special times we have shared. Thanks to all the fans and the Eddie Eddie chant. It always gave me inspiration and helped me play better. I'll never forget it. Thanks to my wife Ashley and my children, Dane and Reagan and Adler, for all your love, support, and patience. Thanks to Mom and Dad, Mom and Dad for giving me an upbringing, a good upbringing, and always telling me I could accomplish whatever I put my mind to do. Thanks, Mom and Dad. I love you. Last but not least, I want to thank God for giving me this life, blessing me with all these wonderful people and experiences. Thank you all, and God bless.